Does the AI-generated label actually protect people, or does it just delay the damage? In 1949, Carl Hovland at Yale was hired by the US Army to measure whether their propaganda films were working. He tested soldiers 5 days after they watched, and it looked like the films were a complete failure because he noted almost no attitude change whatsoever. 9 weeks later, he measured the same soldiers again, and their opinions had surprisingly shifted towards the film's message. Many more soldiers were persuaded after 9 weeks than after 5 days. This is officially known as the sleeper effect. And the explanation is pretty simple. The reason people don't trust something, in this case, this propaganda, consider the source, fades faster than the message itself. So apparently, people over time forget why they doubted something, but generally tend to remember what was said for a good while. Since 1949, several other researchers have confirmed the sleeper effect actually really does exist. Anthony Pratkinis at UC Santa Cruz ran 17 experiments confirming this, and Kumkali and Albarracin at the University of Florida published a meta-analysis in Psychological Bulletin in 2004 showing the exact same pattern. Now, think about what that means for AI-generated content. We're building entire regulatory frameworks around labeling, all based on the assumption that if people know something was made by AI, that knowledge will protect them. Hovland's research suggests it won't, because human brains tend to forget who said it, but not necessarily what was said. In other words, by permitting fake content to be distributed as long as it is labeled AI-generated, the very frameworks meant to protect people might actually enable harm by giving free rein to anyone wanting to spread information that isn't true. It is my impression that people generally feel better about having AI-generated labels, but how effective they really are is a whole other scenario. We just watched AI-generated photos of the mayor of New York as a baby with Jeffrey Epstein go viral, but countless people actually believed them to be true. I asked some of those same people after the corrections came out and how they feel about it now, and the answer I got was that they now aren't sure what's true at all, although it was reconfirmed by countless major news outlets that this is in fact AI-generated and not part of the Epstein files. And that kind of raises a bigger question, doesn't it? Where do we end up as a democracy when news and news outlets are no longer being trusted? Some due to their own doing, if we remember the BBC Trump video scandal. And our brains tend to forget who said it, while largely remembering, though, what was said. I explore more topics like these on my upcoming podcast and social media posts. So if you enjoy thinking about these kind of topics, let's connect.